Okay, hello again. Just thought I'd do another video because I've actually had a slight change of mind. What's cropped up is, those of you that have watched my videos, you know how much I love this 500mm PF lens. I mean, it's and the the Nikon 50 Mark II. But I've had a change of heart. A change of mind because I've got a trip coming up early next year to Tanzania, and I was debating what do I want to take. And I thought, well, this is quite a weighty camera. This Z 6.3. And when you start putting lenses on these things, the weight, it really does add up. And I thought, well, this is fine. This is lightweight. So I went on to a couple of forums just to get people's opinions. And because I thought, if I take this, and maybe if I get a Tamron 100 to 400, something a bit smaller and lighter. But overwhelmingly, when I put this and take this for the quality, but overwhelmingly did people, I would say almost 100%, would say no, get the Nikon 180 to 600. Leave this at home, get the 80 to... Now, I understand why people say that. I get that totally. But I thought, well, when I looked at the weight of that lens, that's almost, it's near enough the same weight as the old Sigma 150 to 600 sport lens that I had last year, which, having spent a day at an event, you know, my back was killing me. And I thought, do I really want to, because what am I going to do with that lens when I come back? Because for all my wildlife photography here, this is what I pick up. All summer I've been using this. This is a setup. Because with this and the teleconverter, this gives me 1050mm, which is ideal for bird photography. You know, even something not too far away. But it's lightweight. I can walk around with this all day and it's not going to kill me or hurt me. And I can shorten, I can take the teleconverter off, and it's, what, 750mm. I think that's correct. I asked Gemini, because I wasn't sure exactly how much focal length, but that's what Gemini told me. So if that's wrong, you can argue with them. So I didn't know what to do, and I started thinking. So just arrived today is this. Olympus OM1. I bought this, now look at how small that sensor is compared to the others. But if we look at it next to the, I mean, not only does it weigh substantially less than the, you know, it's about the same, more or less the same size as the Z50 Mark II. And I've had Olympus before. The thing I always hated about Olympus was the menu system. But with this, they did change it, and it's a much better menu system. So, and what I've ordered is the 100 to 400 Olympus. which the version 2, which I got a really good deal. That's coming brand new. It was £450 off. So that comes about £850, which is a bargain. But that gives me 200 to 800 35mm equivalent. And it takes teleconverters, which I've also bought, which will give me, I'm not sure, but it's over 1000mm anyway. So even if I don't want to take that, I could take that as an option, and it's going to be a lot lighter. So and this camera is lighter, and you know, of course there's always the old controversial, oh God, Micro Four Thirds, which is a load of nonsense. I've had Micro Four Thirds before. In fact, I was watching a comparison video the other day, somebody on YouTube, you can look it up, I can't remember the user, but he was comparing a Nikon Z8, with the 600 6.3 versus the OM1 Mark II version versus the 50 to 1 to 400, the big white lens for Micro Four Thirds. Which seemed a bit of a ridiculous comparison, but you know, at the end of the day, what he was doing, I mean, obviously the full frame is slightly better image quality, but when people talk about it, what are we talking about? How are we defining better image quality? I'll tell you how it's being defined. It's being defined by blowing things up to such an extent that the only way you can see the differences is in the noise and the grain and what have you. By blowing these things up to ridiculous proportions, where both images look bad, but the Micro Four Thirds, because it's such a small sensor, obviously is going to look worse. But that's not how we look at photographs, is it? In real world terms, you're not really going to notice those differences, because you're not going to be blowing them up to that extent. So it's a ridiculous argument. There's nothing wrong with Micro Four Thirds. Yes, it's not as good in lower light. It is going to be a bit noisier. But it depends what you shoot. But for wildlife, you're getting double the focal length on lenses that you would on the equivalent in a much lighter all-round body. So, you know, this is where I think I'm going now. Because I know the image quality is great, and you know, things like Olympus, that, I mean, even back to the old, they have things in these cameras that were way ahead of their time. Like the Starry AF. You know, if you like astrophotography, this kind of makes it simple. You can do the more complicated bits of it as well if you want. So yeah. So that's what I think I'm going to go with. So I just thought I'd do a quick video just to update. Now I'm going back to Micro Four Thirds. I'll do a couple of videos later on when the other bits and pieces come and discuss this a little bit further. But that's just a quick update to how my system is changing yet again. Till the next one.